December 29th, 2025. Guys, a cool day here in central Mississippi. It's the real temperature is dropping. It's down to 43 right now, but guys, tonight the wind chill and the real feel is going to be about 21 here in central Mississippi. So you can relate that through the southeast, but the north is really getting some bad storms and snow and blizzard type conditions. So you guys be careful up there. What we're looking at is some information that this is the only verification I can find about it, and regretfully it's NBC News, but it is what it is. And actually they got it from a radio interview that Trump did when he called in WABC radio. It says, Trump says the U.S. took out a big facility in Venezuela amid strikes on alleged drug boats. Again, it's NBC News, so they got to say alleged. The president did not provide details about the apparent strike, which NBC News has not independently confirmed. And we really worried about that, NBC, for you to independently confirm something and then quote it into lies. So anyway, I think it happened. And what he's talking about was they were talking about the drug cartels and the boats in Venezuela. And Trump, I don't know if he meant to say this, or that was a reason for going on the radio station or not, or it just came up in conversation, because I haven't heard anything about it. Let me know in the comments if you guys have. But he was saying that the retaliation is because of the drug boats and because of the oil embargo and things like that, because Venezuela has been, it has been said that they are housing or they have provided shelter, and these people are working with them. We're talking about Hezbollah, the Houthis, and some of that bunch, okay? And how many of those came in with Mayorkas from Venezuela? So Trump mentioned those things. He was upset about that. They sent us their worst, he said. They emptied their prisons, and they try to send their drugs. But so it's a good thing. And the one thing about it is that, and I said this before, that Trump had announced a few months back that this drug boat missile takeouts could move to land. And a lot of people kind of freaked out a little bit and said, we don't want boots on the ground. And I agree. But with the technology we have now with satellites and all, it was proven with the Iranian nuclear strikes, you don't have to have boots on the ground. And what he's talking about is probably a big facility that was used for packing. Let's read some of it, because he says it was where the boats came in and loaded, the drug boats. Trump has said with an interview with WABC Radio in New York that the U.S. has knocked out a Venezuelan facility, a move that would be a major escalation in U.S. military strikes to counter alleged drug trafficking by the South American country. It's not alleged. We know they do it. The apparent attacks follow months of U.S. military pressure, including dozens, I guess, of strikes on boats in international waters. The White House has claimed that the boats carried drugs, though officials have not provided evidence. The dim cards are unbelievable. That's all I can say. In a short phone interview on Friday, Trump responded to a comment about Venezuela by touting the administration's attacks on alleged drug boats before referring to a strike on a big plant or big facility that he said took place 2 nights earlier. So that would have been last Wednesday night. And we saw him meet with Zelensky yesterday. You've got Netanyahu wants to get in to see Trump. Putin may be coming in. We don't know yet, but there's a lot of cards being played right now. And the only thing I can agree with NBC and ABC about this is the fact that it may escalate things. And that's why I'm doing the video. So be prepared for that, guys. Watch, keep your head on swivel for any news coming out of that area. Because one thing that happened, and I saw the video yesterday, I saw pictures of the video. They didn't really have it. The Chinese military had taken it down. But before they did, there were some snapshots. And it was a military exercise via internet that showed the Gulf of America. And it showed the first wave of blue ships, which would be U.S., and coming out of the Houston-Galveston area out into the Gulf. And then a wave of blue ships, red ships, which would be China, headed up out of the Caribbean to meet them. It was a war game scenario. Anyway, so they are watching it very seriously. They get a lot of oil from Venezuela, but it's a small percentage overall of what they actually take. In other words, they're buying from many places, and I think it's less than 10%, or maybe less than that, of the percentage of Venezuelan oil that China gets. It's still a big deal to them. Trump said, we just knocked out, I don't know if you read it or you saw it, they have a big plant or big facility where they send where the ships come from. He's talking about the drugs. Trump said in the interview, 2 nights ago, we knocked that out, so we hit them very hard. Trump did not provide further details about the apparent attack on the facility, which, if correct, would be the first known land strike in the U.S. counter-narcotics effort against Venezuela. NBC News has not independently confirmed the strike. We call CNN. They can fake you one if you didn't get it, okay? They'll put on some helmets and hide in the basement. Remember a riot, guys? Was that pitiful? Anyway, NBC has not independently confirmed it. The administration has ramped up pressure on Venezuela in recent months. In October, Trump confirmed that he had authorized the CIA to take unspecified action in Venezuela, an unusual acknowledgement about covert action. Yeah, it kind of is, but the technology now is you can spy on anybody, anywhere. Any country can do it. I mean, it may be a little less advanced, but remember the other day we were talking about the Venezuelan situation, and I said they already know where everything is. We already know, and again, when you're talking about the CIA coming in there, they get a lot of intelligence gathered. The president told White House reporters that he took the action because the countries emptied their prisons in the United States of America. Now, this is going back towards just the drug boats. A frequent accusation he has made without providing evidence, and also because of narcotics trafficking. And he mentioned the fact of them pouring out their prisons and dumping those folks here. Trinidad, those gangs, and possibly many Iranian proxies. Hezbollah, Houthi again. Now, in that radio interview with ABC Radio, the station's owner, John Catsimatidis, argued that Venezuela is going to provide a lot more oil to the U.S. of America if Maduro leaves, referring to Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Trump said it's about a lot of things. It's about, they took our oil. They also sent millions of people in there from jails into our country. Some of the worst people on the earth. We've heard this before. Now, normally with Maduro, you would hear some type of response, online or on some news show or something like that, guys. But I haven't heard this mentioned anywhere else. But let me know if you have, and I'm sure now this is going to be brought up, and the Democrats are going to run with it. We're bombing innocent people or something over there. But guys, lots going on. For you guys that are into silver, now I have a handful of coins, but we've been watching it because I said the stock markets will be an indicator of if the country's about to be torn apart economically. But something happened this morning. It happened really in over the weekend, but England, the banks over there that really hoard the silver and gold, they quit taking orders. Silver dropped, the last time I checked, from $80 to $70. And what it looks like is they tried to suppress the price of silver for so long because they don't want to get the price of military things that use silver way up. You got them in missiles. You have them in electronics. You have Tesla uses them. Solar panels have silver. So they wanted to suppress that price, and then it broke loose. Went from 80 to 70 the last time I looked. It may be a little lower, maybe going back up. But what was surprising is the banks were even turning down bids from some of these big companies that need the silver for $200 an ounce. They just said, no, we're not sending out anything right now. And what I think is happening, it's called a shakeout. There's a bunch of profit been made. I remember back in the summer, guys, silver was in its $20, and it goes from there to 80. And that scares the big people, especially the military industrial complex. And again, people like Elon's got the Teslas and the batteries and all that. But the shake up or shake out is the fact that people, because of a $10 drop, that people are going to start selling and getting out of it. Then the big people will buy it at the sellout price and keep it. Silver's about to be unobtainable physically. And just imagine, man, if you were not intelligent enough to have your hands on silver or gold, you just had some piece of paper saying they had it in a vault for you, you'll never see that. You're never going to see it. You better deal with it whatever way you got yourself into that situation, which was not very intelligent. Why would you do that? Why would you send money to a coin exchange or a gold and silver bullion dealer and not get it back? That's insanity. I mean, if you're afraid to have it, don't touch it. But my reason, I don't have enough involved where it's going to hurt me either way. But for the big people, they're going to do the shakeout, and it's something that really focuses on a bad economic situation worldwide. It's not just London that's shutting down the gold trade. They weren't even taking calls from brokers in New York and Chicago this morning. And normally they're saying that's a quick pickup when they start looking at orders and things like that. But the Banks of England and that group were told, don't even answer the phones. What's all that about? But again, it's a sign of economic trouble. But don't listen. If you're some of the people that could become wealthy off your silver, watch this shakeout. Because that's all they're doing. If you think about it, silver being $20 in midsummer, or being in the mid-20s, let me say that, and now it's at 70, you still just about tripled your profit. It's like, I think it was 130 or 40% before this $10 fall. But they're going to try to shake that out. And I think there was a lot of silver and gold confiscation after the Great Depression also. So it is a finite commodity. The world will run out. They will continue to hoard it. And that may be what we're starting to see now. But I think the economics are tied in to the political situation also, kind of like tariffs. We'll see. Just wanted to bring that up, guys. It's interesting because they were expecting a larger breakout. And I think it will, because if you look at silver reached its all-time high, at 60 or something like that. But this morning in some overseas trading, it was $80. We were at 79 something here, I think. I can't remember, but very close to 80. And so a $10 is just one step down, because it's always done that. You get a good rise and it's going to drop back $5 or $10, and it's sat there for years. But right now, they're trying to keep it from busting that $100 barrier, is what they call it. And once they do that, it'll be like gold or Bitcoin or whatever. People are going to start jumping on it that have the money. But for me, at that price, I wouldn't have got into it anyway. But it's already at the price to where you could lose a lot if you were a heavy investor. Now, back at $20, $25 an ounce, you could get a dozen ounces, and it wouldn't break you at the bank if you lost it all, right? But the people that put it all in, and then all you got is a piece of paper, and right now the banks are fixing to shut you down. you might want to make some phone calls to your bullion people. You understand what I'm saying? And you might not want to wait. Anyway, it's a heads up, guys. There'll be updates coming. Be safe.